Okay, so I think we're going to get started here. Um, I'll start by introducing myself, and then I'll let all of our other presenters introduce themselves when we get to their divisions. So my name is Coleman, and I am the captain of UBC Supermileage for the 2020-2021 school year. And I have been on the team since 2016 now. Yeah, that sounds right. 2016. Started off as a member in our Powertrain division, which was called the engine division at the time. And the next year on the team, I became one of a Powertrain project lead, and then I became Powertrain lead, and now I am captain of the team, and I also work on some of our fuel cell stuff. So yeah, we are the UBC Supermileage team, and our main goal is to build highly efficient vehicles. So yeah, what we'll go over today, we'll go over a little bit more about the team, our vehicles, the competitions we go to, what a member that joins UBC Supermileage can expect to learn on the team. And then after that, we'll go into our different divisions, what they do, and then afterwards, how to apply to our team and the interview process. So this is a picture of some of the team from last year, or I guess last competition we went to, which was in 2019. And a fair few of them have graduated now, actually. So I think our next picture will look a lot different with a bunch of new members on it. So it's exciting times. So we have about 60 people on the team, split between all different engineering disciplines, as well as people from non-engineering in our technical and administrative teams. Our goal is to produce the highest energy efficiency possible, and that's with not just gasoline efficiency, but electrical efficiency, and then also now fuel cell efficiency. And our other goals are raising awareness for sustainable transportation and innovation and alternative energies. And then one of our main goals is, to teach and for students to join us to learn, and really just to provide an opportunity to students to really apply themselves in what they're learning. Recently, we've been, the team has just been doing really well and just continually improving. When I joined the team, we weren't getting podium positions. But since then we've just continued to innovate and improve. And last year we came second place at both of our competitions. And I think this year there's a huge opportunity for us to win. So it's really exciting. We have been around for 20 years now. I think the team might have been founded in 2000. I'll have to ask some of the alumni. But there's a long history of us doing great stuff, and our alumni get recognized for the work that they do, and they go on to work for awesome companies like Tesla. Electromechanica is a local electric car company. Westport is a really interesting engine company. There's so many different things that our members have gone on to do, and we can't even begin to list them all. So we gave it a shot here, I'd say. So our vehicles, we currently have two vehicles that are fully put together and built, and we're building a third. Our first vehicle type is the prototype class, and this is really, few rules, really just push the limits of efficiency, like go as far as you can. So to do that, we have three wheels, the driver lies down, the car is really small, super aerodynamic, and that is our gasoline internal combustion vehicle, and our future fuel cell vehicle, which is in progress right now, is also going to be a prototype vehicle. Our Second vehicle is the urban concept class, and this is meant to mimic a road going vehicle. So it has four wheels, the driver sits upright, we have turn signals, headlights, brake lights, it has to have a steering wheel, and it really is just meant to, like, what would a super efficient road going vehicle look like? For the longest time, we had this as a internal combustion vehicle as well, but in the 2019 competition year, we converted it to a battery electric vehicle. So we go to two different competitions every year, or years without COVID, I guess. And the first competition that we go to is the Shell Eco Marathons America. And they have a huge number of vehicle classes. So that's where we send in the past, we've sent our gasoline prototype and our urban concept battery electric. And this year we are hoping to send our urban concept battery electric and our fuel cell vehicle. It has taken place in California for the past few years. We don't know yet where it's going to take place this year, but I'm sure we'll know soon. It is possible that Shell is looking to do local competitions, so people don't have to travel. So it's possible we'll see a Canadian competition for the first time, but that hasn't been decided yet. So we'll obviously hopefully hear more as we get closer to the competition. Our second competition that we go to is the UBC Supermileage competition, and they only allow gasoline vehicles. I think, looking through the rules just for everyone's interest, I think our urban concept vehicle, if it were gasoline, fits within the parameters, but you're not going to win with an urban concept. Prototype vehicle is the way to go in the UBC Supermileage competition. And that takes place every year in Marshall, Michigan, and has for the past 40 years, bar last year. Last year would have been the 41st competition in Marshall. So being on the team, is an incredible learning opportunity, and being one of our goals to teach students, we really focus on making sure that you get the most out of it. So you get to learn things like, our industry standard softwares, SolidWorks, ANSYS for 3D modeling and simulations. StarCCM is a new fluid dynamic simulation software that we've started using. Altium is a software used by electrical a bunch to do PCB design. And then we also just, make sure everyone gets to practice the design process, gets to build things, gets to work in a team, and really just learn as wide a breadth of thing as possible while also, getting to be an expert in your division and really making sure that you can get the most out of it. And one question that I got asked a lot at our Imagine Day and a couple of other things is like, what do I need to know coming into the team? And I would say, we don't expect you to know everything, especially if you're a first year student coming in. We don't really expect you to know anything, and that's totally okay. We do training stuff at the beginning and really just make sure that everyone gets a chance to learn what we do, learn how we do the things we do, and then go on and work on projects of their own and really help the team right from the get-go. And it's okay if you don't know how to do things, because we are there to help us, I guess. So we really stress teaching, especially at the beginning of the term. So, this is a little bit of a different year. I'm sure you all have noticed that. We are unfortunately not going to be able to meet in person this year. At least most of us won't be able to. So we will be holding all of our meetings online. Right now, we're not sure which platform we're going to use. It might be Microsoft Teams. We might extend our Zoom license and use Zoom. We're still trying to figure that out. I think we'll probably start with Teams to begin with, but we're flexible. We want to make sure that we get the best platform to make sure that everyone can do their work the most efficiently. We normally have a scheduled time on Saturdays that students meet, but I think we're going to be a little bit flexible this year because we know everyone is in different time zones, and each division is going to schedule their own meeting times just to make sure that everyone can meet. And then we will have a catch-up meeting once a week or maybe on the Saturdays as well, if enough teams are meeting at that time to make sure that everyone's up to speed. We have a general meeting that everyone can come to, and we talk about, what we've done this week, what the next steps are, what our plans are. Later on in the semester or the year, if we're allowed into the shop, some of the students may get to. We don't know, or we probably don't think that everyone will be able to, but once it's safe to do so, and once UBC is okayed it, we hope to get in the shop, and we have every intention of building stuff this year. Already we're ordering parts, and team members are keeping them in their houses and starting to put them together. So we're not going to let this stop us from reaching our goals this year. So I'll hand it off to some of the leads of the electrical division, and they can introduce themselves and let you know what they do. Electrical.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I guess there's no one else here. Hey guys, I'm Roy. I'm one of the electrical leads. Yeah, I actually have not seen the electrical slides, but I think I know enough to get by. So let's go to the next slide. Wait, are there slides? There's no, okay, there we go. Yeah, so we handle basically anything that has to do with any hardware or software electrically on the vehicle. So this would include things like power delivery, into systems communication, which would include things such as telemetry, the steering wheel, and the motor control. We mainly focus on things like power design. We focus on things like speccing, and just really designing hardware and software to essentially make our systems work, our electrical systems work in a way that is simple, reliable, easy to debug, and also light. I don't know if there's another slide. So our PCB projects include the DC brushless motor controller, which just is pretty self-explanatory. The steering wheel, which is an interface that the driver has with the rest of the electrical systems on the car, on the vehicle. Sorry, we have the starter motor. Starter motor controller should be, which is essentially our own in-house motor controller for our starter motor. Power distribution for drive electronics essentially is just anything that deals with power coming out of the battery and into either electronics dealing with control or electronics that actually directly contribute to the drive system. Telemetry would be dealing with anything where we're having data that is being exported outside of the car. So we have people working on projects where we're exporting data like speed, GPS, that kind of stuff to the cloud, where we can access it and analyze it later to see how we're doing, how to improve. And accessories, which is actually what I'm working on, is things that aren't traditionally the main parts of the car. So anything such as headlights, hazard lights, and the wiper, those sorts of things would fall under accessories, and that's all connected with the CAN bus, which is the communication protocol that we use to communicate between systems that the electrical division works on. So if we go to the next slide. Right, so our software projects, which are really closely integrated with our hardware projects. If you're working on any of our projects, chances are you'll be working on both software and hardware sides, unless you specifically don't want to work on either one. So we're developing a robust cross-vehicle communication between the various systems, as I mentioned, using the CAN protocol, which is a differential serial communication protocol. A steering wheel driver interface has a display essentially that we are programming that to make it so that the driver is able to interface with all of our electrical systems. And telemetry and data analysis systems is going to be a web-based interface. So there's lots of software there for both web developers and back-end data analysis developers. Yeah, I think that's all. If there's another slide. Learning opportunities, great. So we use Altium mainly right now for our PCB design. There are talks about maybe switching to another PCB design program such as Eagle, but currently we will be focusing more on Altium for the time being. You'll be able to pick up skills. For example, using Altium for PCB design, there's going to be simulations and of course assembly. So you'll be soldering surface mount devices, lots of fun. You'll be designing schematics. You'll be routing and designing the PCBs, lots of CAD. And of course, there's a ton of just hardware debugging and hardware assembly. On the more software side of things, we have web programming, so HTML, JavaScript, where you're essentially taking the data that we're collecting from the vehicle, and you'll be figuring out ways to represent it properly in a graphical, user-accessible way. And our communication protocols, mostly through serial protocols, as I mentioned with the controller area network, or CAN. You'll be learning more about that and how to work on that, both on the hardware and software side. So yeah, that's it for electrical.
Thanks, Roy. I'm Gabby, and I'm a powertrain lead. And I've been on this is my 4th year on the team now, and I started in my 1st year as a powertrain general member. And I've learned a lot, and now, yeah, leading the powertrain team. With me on the call as well, Leah's here. So Leah will talk to you about our gasoline vehicle, Proto.
Yeah, hi, I'm Leah. I've been a powertrain member for 2 years now. I guess I'm going into my 3rd year now. And I just recently became a project lead for the powertrain division.
So I'll just quickly run over our overview of our division. Yeah, so one of our vehicles, we work on the internal combustion engine, all the different parts of the engine. We take it apart every year. That's a really fun activity, and you get to see the internal workings of the engine. We work on making that really efficient and changing parts. Like I worked on the connecting rod this year, and other members like Leah worked on the camshafts that work with the engine timing. So really interesting projects there. We also have electrical motors. So there's a starter motor on Proto. There's motors for both fuel cell and urban. And we spec'd out the motors in the past years and looked at different torque speed curves and figuring out what's the best motor for us, what's the best gear ratio. And with gear ratio, in comes belts, chains, gearboxes. So how do we convert that torque from our motor engine to the wheel? And then finally, we also work on the wheels, so the most efficient bearings and hubs, and how to transfer that energy from our motor engine super efficiently to the wheel. So minimizing losses along the way is very important to us. We really promote learning for all members in all different aspects, and kind of whatever interests you, we like to give projects in your interest. So if you really want to work with engines or motors or gears or wheels, like we want to push you to focus on what you like. And we really make everything super lightweight, super efficient, finding the best materials for everything. Yeah, so there's lots of learning in our division here.
Yeah, so as Gabby mentioned, as the powertrain part of Proto, we work a lot on the engine. So one of the main projects we started working on this year was trying to optimize the camshafts because the camshafts control the engine timing. So we were trying to see how we could alter that to make our engine more efficient. So that included a lot of research and a lot of design. And unfortunately, COVID kind of shut everything down before we were able to actually test everything we made. But hopefully, as soon as we get back in the shop, we'll be able to see kind of what kind of an impact our new designs have made. So that'll be really cool to see because we did spend a lot of time trying to design the new camshaft. So that'll be cool. We also redesigned the engine sleeve to make it more lightweight. So we get a lot of weight reduction there. which is really good for our efficiency. Some other cool projects is a new starter motor, so it's actually way lighter than it used to be. It's like this small black thing compared to this longer one that's before. So we spent a lot of time trying to get that properly mounted to the engine. Another project is a new O2 sensor and an RPM sensor. And then finally, we always just do kind of general engine testing and tuning always at the end of the year to try and get everything to run at its optimal level.
Thanks, Leah. Yeah, so with Urban, we're integrating a brushless motor as opposed to a brushed motor. And that is a lot of working with the electrical division on that motor. And one of our members last year designed a bunch of new mounts and whatnot, and picking the right gearbox for a new motor. And making all those parts really lightweight is quite important. And as for the fuel cell drivetrain, we have been working really hard over the summer to design a brand new chain drive. So it's really kind of basic level design. What do we want things to look like? What are the gear ratios? And then from there, working on the mounts and how to mount the motor, how to mount our gears. And then from there, we're going to move into topology optimization for all the components to make them as lightweight as possible. And this year, we're hoping to manufacture everything for this car. So fuel cell will be taking a lot of our attention, and it's pretty exciting. We're also going to have a sub-team to work on the fuel cell itself, not just the fuel cell drivetrain. So they're going to work on, the different fluids moving through the cell, how to route that, how the different cells connect together. And there's going to be quite a bit of hardware with that. So some capacitors and stuff. And then at the end of the day, testing the fuel cell and optimizing that. So as you can probably see, there's lots of places to learn in the powertrain division. And one of our big areas is CAD. So we use a lot of SolidWorks assemblies, as you can see in the photo. And that's really helpful to any job you may have. You'll probably have to CAD at some point. And we really encourage machining and making our own parts. So designing them to be able to be machined easily. And I love taking students out to the machine shop and showing them how to, once you have some training or whatnot, how to refine the milling and lathing that you have. Also, how do we source materials for all these parts, and solving different problems. Whenever you try to start the engine, there's usually something going on, so troubleshooting that, and just working with efficiency and how to keep things efficient. So that's powertrain.
Okay, so I'm Quinn. I'm a vehicle mechanics division lead. I've been here 3.5 years, 4 years if you want to round up, and my colleague Eric, who still is muted, who wants to unmute himself.
Yes, I'm unmuted now, Quinn. I was waiting for you to finish your spiel. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric. I, along with Quinn, run our Vmec division, as we call it for short. I am going into my 3rd year on the team here. I'll take it from here then. Thanks, Quinn. Next slide, Coleman. So as a quick overview of our division, the Vehicle Mechanics division is top level, responsible for all the external features of our vehicles, as well as a lot of the key internal structures and systems. So major projects and responsibilities would include our aerodynamic shells, our structural chassis that all of our components mount to and the driver sits on. Some big systems we take care of are our braking and steering systems for the vehicles. We also are the ones responsible for all our driver safety and visibility. So rollover protection, harnesses, fire protection, and windows and mirrors, just to list a few items. And just because we deal with the 2 largest components of our vehicle, which are our aerodynamic shells and our chassis, we do the majority of our composite materials work to try to save weight on those large scale projects. As a division, our main goals are to reduce the overall weight and performance losses of the car. So the big losses we're looking at are drag and friction, and by reducing our weight as well, we take less energy to move, which is a good thing for us. A big thing for us is to design systems for usability and reliability, because a lot of our systems, including the braking and steering and the safety systems, need to work all the time in order for our drivers to be safe and for our vehicles to perform well. We're also big about encouraging teamwork, leadership, and mentorship, especially because we are the largest division on our team, just because we have such a wide range of responsibilities. And we also really try to promote interdisciplinary and cross-division collaboration, since we're involved with so many parts of the vehicle, and we typically have a wide range of technical backgrounds on our division. Next slide, Coleman. For our gasoline prototype vehicle, which Coleman talked about off the top and the other divisions have been mentioning, some of our Vmec projects would include a whole new steering system redesign, a new composite roll bar to try to reduce weight, new carbon fiber rims, which we're really interested in that project, try to have some custom made wheels that'll save some weight for us, and also just refining our wheel mounts, since those are an important part of the car, but also somewhere where we can try to save weight. And then I'm going to pass over to Quinn to talk about our urban concept, our fuel cell, and then our learning opportunities.
Yeah, so on the urban side, we have a bunch of really interesting areas that we have projects in. So the biggest thing is our new shell that we're working on this. So we're designing that in a CAD software, getting a mold, going to build that ourselves, and then hopefully testing scale models in the wind tunnel if we're able to, as soon as the rest gets open. What we want to do is we really want to optimize the chassis. So we think we have some space on there that we can trim and really trim some weight. And when it comes to the composite roll bar, last year we implemented some prototypes for our prototype model, and we want to bring that over to urban just because it's so much lighter. We think it's much stronger. We haven't done enough physical testing yet, but we think it's going to be a lot stronger, and hopefully it'll save us some weight. Next slide. And then obviously with a new car, there's new car things that need to go onto it. So at the refurbished shell, we're going to repurpose an old one, so we don't have to do two this year. It saves us some money and saves us time as well. We're designing a new steering system for both our prototype vehicles, and we need to implement that onto both cars. Obviously, the new car needs to be able to stop, brake setup and tuning. Shell refurbishing I mentioned, and then also bring that composite roll bar idea over to this new vehicle as well. Then also everything needs to get mounted from wheels to that roll bar, safety harnesses, so that everything needs to get stuck to the chip. Go ahead. So being really broad, we have a lot of different areas that you're going to learn in if you join Vmec. So lots of hands-on machining. You make a lot of stuff in-house. At the bottom right, you can see us making our shell in one of the molds, doing a carbon fiber layup. Lots of practical testing. We did some testing with our composite roll bar prototypes last year. So that's putting them in the machine, in the Tinius-Olson machine is what it's called, having that crush and seeing how much load it can take. We also do a lot of simulations, from a finite element analysis to test strength of different components to computational fluid dynamics, which is all about how fluid flow moves around an object, which is especially important for shell design. So yeah, we deal with structural things, we deal with aerodynamics, we deal with a whole wide range of different projects. So there's really a lot to learn in this division. Go ahead. I guess I'll take this one too.
Well, I can take it from here if you want, Quinn.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that's all of our technical information for you. I'll just quickly, because I realize I don't know if we have a slide for it. We also have an admin division, so that's for social media, public relations, safety, finance, and a wide range of just administrative duties. And people who are interested in joining the team but don't have an engineering background, if they are interested in these sort of positions, they can also apply to the team. We need as much help as we can in running the more day-to-day operations of the team, just to to make sure everyone can do their jobs as smoothly as possible. So apart from that, we have, well, so if you want to apply to the team, here's our application link. That will be open until Tuesday, September 15th. The sooner you apply, the sooner we can contact you for an interview. And yeah, I'll leave this up for a moment for people to scan, and I might put it up again at the end because I do have, I think, 1 or 2 more slides for you. Speaking of that, so successful applicants, we are going to contact you for an interview. Not everyone will necessarily get an interview, but we'll try and get to as many of you as we can, especially those who we think are going to be a great fit for the team. Each division is going to contact you separately. If you apply to more than one division, you may get contacted by more than one. You may get only contacted by one. It is up to them who they choose to interview, and they'll send you a doodle poll with the available time slots that they have, and they can and you can schedule a time that works best for you with them. We hope to send everyone their offers by September 17th at the latest, which I believe is either the Wednesday or the Thursday next week. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming out. We're happy to take your questions. I have a whole bunch of links here, but I think I'll bring it back to the apply slide just so you all get a chance to look that over if you haven't applied yet. So yeah, questions, feel free to just ask them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask them.
I did see one question in chat if Roy wants to answer that one. Oh, he just did. Never mind.
Well, that's an interesting question. How would we describe an ideal candidate? Well, in a perfect world, the ideal candidate knows everything about all of our vehicles and has a degree in every single engineering division and really wants to be on the team. But we know that that's not possible. We know that especially first year candidates, that you're not going to know anything necessarily coming in. So I think the biggest thing that we look for is an interest in the team, an interest, a passion for learning, an interest in our mission and designing efficient vehicles. And we're really looking for someone who just seems excited about what we do and that we feel is going to quickly learn and be able to jump in and help us out. If you have some technical experience at all, that's great. Please mention it. But it's not a requirement. So I think the thing we look for most is a desire to learn and a desire to help. I can't hear you, Eric. Is that just me?
Yeah, I can't hear Eric either.
Okay.
Yeah, but to add on to Coleman, like the Powertrain totally agrees, and just eagerness and commitment to the team and always asking questions and being inquisitive is a really important trait.
And I guess as far as Vmec, I pretty much concur with all that. It's your work ethic, it's your willingness to learn, because we can teach you how to use a lathe or use a mill. We can't teach you to want it, right? So that's probably the most important thing.
guess electrical is next. There's definitely a lot of it's awesome if you have experience with things like programming in essentially any language, and if you've had some experience with playing just with any sort of hardware previously. But like all the other divisions, we're essentially just looking for someone who has a passion for what we're doing and is interested in learning, because everything we do, we are going to teach you near the beginning of the year.
Anyone else have any questions? You know, about the team, about the cars, about how we do what we do, about the programs we're in. I don't know anything. We're here. I'm free for the next little while, so ask away. Favorite aspect of Supermileage? I mean, I like. Well, okay, I'll say the sappy thing first. The people. You know, the team is great. I've known all these people for so many years, and working with them through, you know, the toughest of problems. We had an engine fail at competition once, and that was, you know, really tough. And working through it with people, you really form a close bond with the people who are on the team. So I mean, they make it worthwhile. My other favorite aspect is, you know, the competition. I love competing, and I love doing well, and I love knowing at the end of the day I've put in my all to get us where the positions that we're getting. So being able to just look at the work that I've done and know that it's succeeding and we're doing well is incredibly rewarding. And you know, going to competitions have been some of the most stressful and some of the most exciting moments of my life. So it's a tie between the people and the competitions. That's my my answer.
I guess I can address the question too. Coleman had a really great response though, but probably my favorite aspect is the all-night engine rebuilds and the last-minute machining and all the last-minute fixes. That's always really fun and exciting. And of course, all the learning that comes with that.
I guess I'll chime in. Like, aside from just the friends I've made along the way, which, you know, I mean, Coleman already touched on, I love building, like designing something in design software, then actually feeling it in your hands once you built it. That's always just such a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, so I think everyone has had a chance to go to the link or scan the QR code by this point, I hope. If not, it's also on our website, it's on our Facebook page, it's in our Instagram bio. And like I said, the sooner you apply, the sooner we can get back to you and start interviewing you. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. You know, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, smash that like button, subscribe. You know, the whole shebang. We do have a YouTube channel as well, and I'm hoping to make it a lot more active this year. So we'll see about that as well. yeah, but I think if no one has any more questions, we might just wrap this up. Oh, there is another question. Okay, what do you think the biggest challenge you faced during your time with the team? Well, I talked about that engine failure, didn't I? That worked out okay. We had to go haggle with another team to borrow an engine part that we didn't have an extra of. Luckily, they were running a similar engine to us, a similar engine design, and we were able to find a part from them. But that was stressful. You know, there's been some late nights. One of the competitions, the Shell one, it's 5 or 6 days, and you wake up at 5, you're at the track by 6. You don't leave until 11 p.m. midnight. You get back to the hotel at 1, and then do it again and again and again. And by the end of that, you are exhausted. It is, you're cranky. You haven't had enough sleep. Everyone else is getting on your nerves. Things might not be going right at competition, and you have to deal with it while this is happening. And, that's tough just mentally, I think. It's same
When you
happens.
make competition sound like hell.
Oh no, competition's fun. I said competition was my
It's
favorite
awesome.
part.
I know.
Same thing happens. Like even if you don't go to competition, we generally leading up to competition and before packing, we sometimes have some late nights because we want everything to be perfect and as close to ready to go before competition, so we don't have to do that at competition. But there's some tough times, but in a way they are really rewarding because you're putting your everything into the team, and when it pays off, it's all the more rewarding. I hope I didn't make competition sound too hellish. I really do think competition has been my favorite moments on the team. It's really when you do the most bonding with people.
Yeah, like to kind of touch on that last bit, it's obviously challenging, but because you're doing it with so many other people and you're all going through that trial by fire, you really come out of that setting a lot closer, and you feel good after you do it, really good.
Especially when you come in second place. That's fun.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm loving these questions. Keep them coming. Leads too, if you have anything that you want to add on to or ask, or any fun tidbits you know of. Okay, cool. Well, I think we will wrap this up. Thank you to everyone who came out. I will we'll be releasing this recording on our social medias, so keep an eye out for it. If you happen to want to watch it again, if there's anything you missed, anything you want to review, go for it. And have a nice rest of your evening. Please apply, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Coleman.